Study of administration start from management rather than law. This I have broadly will be knowing it. Because a lot of points will come back to the core because you are writing about only one chapter, so many points will repeat. Study of administration should, so what is the demand of the question then? In simple terms, the demand of question is what? You have to refer to always, whenever you talk about evolution, science, study something, Woodrow Wilson. So he kept on telling that the philosophical foundation of PubAd should be where? Philosophical foundation of public administration should be in management. Fine, because the core point, he kept on saying that what? Administration is more business-like, less unbusiness-like. Fine, when you say law, it is a philosophical foundation for what? For political science. In other words, they can focus more on aspects like what do you mean by citizenship, what do you mean by rights, what do you mean by state, what do you mean by forms of the state like neoliberal state, what do you call this, feminist state, this, that all, they will focus more on that. Public administration should focus more on management. Management means what? Like how the classical thinkers says POCCC, Fayol, or Gulick and Urvik says what? PostCorp. We have to focus more on this for simple reason, because public administration is nothing but what? As even everybody keeps saying, it is government, not of. It is nothing but government in action. So that means we are focused on what? We are focusing on implementation. Because your focus is on implementation, that aspects will come, we are not saying no. But that is core focus in where? Political science. That's why even if you look at political science optional, they will focus more on what did Aristotle say, what did Plato say, what did Socrates say, what is rights, what is state, what is forms of state, so many welfare, they will focus more on that. We will also use that aspects. But our focus is not more on that. Our focus is more on what? Implementation, administration, structure, hierarchy, division of work, all behavioral aspects, those aspects should be our focus. If you shift more to that, then what is the difference? Then public administration will not become a separate discipline at all. Then what will people tell? Why are you studying that again? Political science is already studying it. So that means you are again telling that you are not a separate discipline, you are nothing but political science. So that's why to make yourself a separate discipline, you should categorize, differentiate yourself, focus more on this. Fine? But we will make use of that aspect. We are not saying no. They will also make use of these aspects. We will also make use of that aspect. But core should be different. That is the point. Then within that, when you are writing, you have to regularly keep telling how it started with Woodrow Wilson, how classical thinkers focused, how the scope kept on evolving. That all you have to write. Fine? Yeah, please write the core. Again, introduction will always, whenever it is about study, I have told you multiple times, start with Wilson. Or another broader angle if you want, clarify that. Public administration as a practice. Public administration as a practice is as old as the state, civilization. Public administration as a practice is as old as the state. Fine. However, as a discipline, it is very new. As a separate study, it is very new. As a discipline, it is very new. Obviously, what is the context? It started with publication of Woodrow Wilson's. Same, just copy that point, It started with the publication of Woodrow Wilson's essay. What is that? All those things you have already written. No need to write that again and again, In answer, you have to write that. Here I am not saying because we have written study of administration, political science quarterly. That is a context. Right? It started with that. Now clarify. Woodrow Wilson wanted public administration. Woodrow Wilson wanted public administration to become a separate discipline. As a separate discipline. See, context you are clarifying. As a separate discipline to address the problems of spoils system in US. To address the problems of spoil system in US. And it was becoming very difficult to run a constitution rather than frame it. And it was getting very difficult to run a constitution rather than frame it. To run a constitution rather than frame it. Run a constitution rather than frame it. So this is the context. Now whatever you have written, these points clarify. According to Woodrow Wilson, according to him, administration is more business-like. Keep writing in small paragraphs, 3 to 4 lines, or subheadings depending on the context. According to Wilson, administration should be more business-like and less unbusiness-like. More business-like and less unbusiness-like. And what will always remain the core? Like business, 3 E's is also the priority focus for public administration. Like private sector, like business, 3 E's, same, economy, efficiency, effectiveness. Like private sector, like business, 3 E's is also the priority, is also the scope, not scope, sorry, you can say goal, is also the goal of public administration, or should be the goal of public administration. Should be the goal of public administration. And what he said, clarify this exact statement. The philosophical foundation of administration should be management. Philosophical foundation of administration should be management. What is the reason of this? Philosophical foundation of administration, that is public administration, should be in management. This is because public administration is nothing but government in action. This is because public administration is nothing but government in action. That is what? That is implementation part. That is implementation part of the state. Implementation part of the state. Fine. Clarify below. Same. The what do you call as this? The philosophical, that part, philosophical foundation for political science is law. The philosophical foundation for political science, is law, which focuses on, clarify the aspects we have written. Philosophical foundation for political science is law, which focuses on aspects like citizenship, state, rights, theories of state, etc. Means legal aspects. What is legislature, executive, judiciary, civil society, something like that. Just write 4 or 5 keywords: citizenship, state, rights, theories or forms of state, etc. Fine. And what if administration focus on that? If administration focus on legal law aspects, if administration focuses on these aspects, what will you lose then? Yeah. If administration, if PABAD focuses on these aspects, then it will lose its identity. It will become nothing but what? It will become a part of political science. Then the question of separate discipline itself will not come. If public administration focuses on these aspects, it will lose its identity. It will become a part of political science discipline. It will become a part of political science discipline. It will become a part of the political science discipline. Fine. Now the context you have already said. Now how this was carried forward, below that you clarify. The ideas of Wilson was later carried forward by various thinkers. See, it's in a way kind of comparison, contemporary relevance. Ideas of Wilson was carried forward by later thinkers. Was carried forward by later thinkers. Fine. Under that, as a key, just thinker wise you can clarify, or theories wise. Classical thinkers like Fayol. Classical thinkers like Fayol stressed on what? Provided POCCC idea or POCCC approach. You write that keyword, they will understand, because you are talking about public administration writing. Your classical thinkers like Fayol focused on POCCC approach. Gulick and Burik focused on post-corp approach. It is nothing but tools, management. Fine, Gulick and Burik focused on that. Fine, then humanistic and behavioral thinkers, Elton Mayo, all those people Humanistic and behavioral thinkers. Humanistic and behavioral thinkers focused on what? Psychological, emotional factors, social factors. Focused on psychological and social factors of administration. Psychological and social factors of administration. But still what remain the same? However, the goals of 3E remained constant. However, the goals of 3E's remained constant. Now again, even link today. Even today, in the context of NPM, network governance, neo-Weberian state, see all the contemporary, everything you are bringing. Even today in the context of NPM, network governance, good governance, neo-Weberian state, what still remains the core? 3E's, that is implementation part, remains the core. Implementation aspects remain the core. Implementation aspects remain the core. 3E's, that is the implementation aspects, remain the core. Fine? Yeah, but again you can link. What we can make use of? Clarify below. Public administration can make use of, or actually will make use of. Public administration also makes use of. Public administration also makes use of the ideas of political science as well as management. Public administration makes use of the ideas of political science as well as management. However, as identified by Woodrow Wilson, as identified by Dwight Waldo also you can say. However, as identified by Dwight Waldo, it is concerned with implementation of those activities and programs which cater to the service of the citizens. implementation of those activities and programs which cater to the service of the citizens, which cater to the service of the citizens. Fine? Yeah, I think that's fine. Broadly, you would have understood.